I have some winners, some losers, and then I did 2 other categories. I was like, I like their draft, but not enough to put them in the winner category. And then there's a couple where I was like, I don't like their draft, but not enough to like put them in the loser category.
John, do your draft, favorite picks. And do you know who my dad is draft?
Yeah, no, that automatic win. But yeah, I don't know if we want to just go right into it. That's fine. So first team on my winner list, I absolutely loved what the Anaheim Ducks did at this draft. Again, Beckett Seneke, like they gave everyone, first of all, the fact that they immediately started off the draft with like a holy shit pick. The Beckett Seneke at 3rd overall, again, like very high.
He said holy shit. He said holy shit.
He goes, holy fuck. Oh my fucking God.
It's funny because like you'd think he'd at least have some idea though, right? Like is the team not talking to him more? By the way, last tidbit I'll give listeners on the Ogren interview. He had no fucking clue Minnesota was taking him. He's like, yeah, I didn't talk to them all that much.
Mm-hmm. I love that when they're like, oh shit. There's like some guys that talked like 25 teams and then just like one of the teams they didn't talk to where they go. Like, oh shit. All right. I don't even know who the fuck, like, where is that team?
The only place we haven't checked out apartments. God damn it.
I know. But yeah, Seneke, again, 3rd overall, maybe a bit rich, but I mean, even if he had like 10 or 15 more games where he was as good as he was the second half, and then the playoffs until he got hurt. Like if he had a full season of just playing the way they played, he would have been a no shit top 5 pick for pretty much every team in the league. Again, the size, the skill, the skating, and the fact that he has that layer of just like physicality, how mean he is. You totally understand the projection. But then they followed up with Stian Solberg, the Norwegian defenseman at 23rd overall.
Yeah.
A very different element to their decor, but he screams legit like NHL defenseman already. We've seen him play pro. And we didn't really know how to gauge that league. So then we watched him the World Championships, and he's legitimately shutting down like big time NHL players when he's playing teams like USA. So I do love that pick. He's one of the hardest hitters in the draft too. Again, like the way he plays just screams NHL. I don't think it'll take that long for him to eventually make his way into that lineup. So I like that pick at 23rd overall. Like I saw some people were projecting him like way earlier. So I thought 23rd was just a sweet spot.
To the wild.
Right. So I love that pick. Lucas Pettersson, 35th, the Swedish center. Again, another one of my sons. There was an early run on Swedes in the second round. I do love that. No, it wasn't actually a draft son, but just one of my Swedes.
No, but you had him ranked 29, I think, on your big board.
Yeah, late first. Again, that probably would have been like that was probably me projected a little bit, but I mean 35, that feels like a good spot. Another really speedy, solid 2-way center with legit offensive upside. I think he probably projects more into your middle 6, but he's going to give you some secondary scoring potentially at the NHL level. And again, while playing that really reliable 2-way game. Maxime Massé at 66th overall, sniper, speed. Again, another guy that was projected to go like top 15 last summer. And again, just didn't necessarily have a bad year. The Q, there's a lot of guys obviously passed him. But I like that pick at 66 a lot. And then they get guys, all name team, Ethan Precision at 68th. He just is a lunatic on the ice. Very fun player. Terrence Smith at 79th. Really nice work. And Daryl Sujetski's at 214 overall is phenomenal. Like I would have had him probably projected more 4th, 5th round. Big shutdown defenseman, can move. He's got a booming shot. I really like that pick. So Anaheim Ducks were my first winner off the board.
What a name.
I just love that they added value everywhere in their lineup. Like I really like their draft.
Fair. Okay, then who's number 2 then for your favorite drafts?
Yeah, and I should clarify, not ranking them. This is just as I was going through
the ones you like.
Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Sadly, it makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit, but the Montreal Canadiens, they could have done nothing outside the first round, and they would have made this list.
I knew it was going to hurt you to say that.
Ivan Demidov, 5th overall. Potentially highest upside in this draft. Michael Hage at 21, a guy that I would have had projected closer to 15, anywhere from like 13, 14, 15. Another really solid 2-way center, but the skill is insane. Good size, 2-way. Like he is just awesome. And the trajectory right now is through the roof. I really liked the Tyler Thorpe pick at 130. Owen Prost at 102. I thought was interesting. What?
You're going to skip the Pander pick?
No, I'll get there. And then Rasmus Bergqvist, 224. Flashes a legit upside, like him. And Atos Koivu. Awesome. It was funny. My buddy at Smart Scouting is a Montreal Canadiens fan. He goes, of fucking course they picked him. And the next tweet on the timeline was me going, Koivu to Montreal, fuck yeah. I was like, that's hilarious. He's pissed about it. But again, he's got some legit flashes of like NHL upside. But again, they could have done nothing outside those first two picks in the first round, and I would have already penciled them in as the winners.
It was a better third round pick than the Wild had. So
yeah, fair. Well played. Fair enough. Can't argue with that. Montreal Canadiens, they make the list. Next up, I almost moved them to I like their draft, but not enough to put them in the winners. But at the end of the day, I decided that I actually did just really, really like their draft. Again, like especially with their first one, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Caden Lindstrom, 4th overall, is incredible.
Okay, can we pause?
Yes.
How were they considering trading that pick to Chicago for next year's unprotected pick? How could that make any goddamn sense in the world?
I don't know. Yeah, they made the right choice. But I mean, Lindstrom at 4th overall, absolute no-brainer. He's like 6'4", 6'5". The speed, the skill, the shot, legit vision, and he's just entering that peak trajectory where he's only going to get better. And he was already, before he got hurt this year, he was torching the WHL. And again, at that size, when you move that well and you're that much of a dual threat in terms of scoring goals or just natural playmaking yourself, he is also kind of exactly what they needed. I think he is going to be a center at the NHL level, potential to be a true number one. And you look at the talent that's surrounding him, coming up with how well they've drafted the past 3, 4, 5 years. He is a lot of options to pass the puck to and play with guys that can also dish. So I love the pick at 4th overall. Charlie Ellick at 36th overall. I really like that pick. I was flirting with putting him in my the end of the first. This is a big right shot defenseman. He is mean. Defensively, excellent. And again, he's tough. He hits everything that moves, and when he hits, he hits hard. But his transition game is also solid. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's necessarily going to put up 1 million points in the NHL, but I think he's got good second pair potential. Again, legit shutdown guy, moves really well, transitions well enough. I like that pick at 36. And then Evan Gardner at 60. I really like that too. Luca Morelli at 86th. Like that a lot. So again, I think the smallest guy they took was the goalie, Evan Gardner at 60, 6'1". So they were able to target big guys with legit skill sets that move really well. And again, when you just look at the work they've done the past couple of years, they've already got such a solid foundation of prospects that will be coming up soon here. I love every player that they added to the mix. So big fan of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Caden Lindstrom, 4th overall. My God, I love that pick. He rules. So they made my winner list.
There you go.
I'm going to skip going over the players because we're going to talk about them. But Minnesota Wild obviously made my winners list. We're going to be talking about the Wild. So next up, San Jose Sharks. It's hard to get the first overall pick and then not come out of the draft as a winner. It's pretty impressive if you could do that, honestly.
Wow, what they did.
Yeah, so they go out. Macklin Celebrini, 1st overall. We don't need to talk about it anymore. Sam Dickinson at 11th overall. I am shocked that he went outside the top 10. I was getting made fun of on the live stream, by the way, when I said that there were going to be a ton of defensemen going early. The second I got made fun of, I think there were 5 defensemen picked in a row. But Sam Dickinson at 11th overall, again, I had him closer to I thought Ottawa would take him because he kind of does a similar mold, maybe not as upside offensively as much as a Sanderson, but similar profile player. They obviously went with the Yakimchuk route, which is the trend that they followed the rest of the draft. But Sam Dickinson 11, I love that pick.
Funny because like a lot of Ottawa Senators fans were mad about the reach, but like Yakimchuk just like sounds like vomit. That's fun.
That's a big win right there.
You had Dickinson going top 5 or 6, and
yeah, I think most of the year,
kind of flirted with it, right? Like those two were kind of the guys who are like right in the same range. It's like, which one do you like more?
Yeah, and I mean, coming in too, it was like there were 6 big time defensemen coming off, or like that was going to be going early, and I think everyone was quite shocked that like Zeev Buium was the 6th taken of all those guys, and also very shocked that Sam Dickinson was the 5th one off the board of that list.
Did you hear the way it was explained though? So essentially, like hearing from like Pronman and Wheeler and them, it was like Zeev Buium was no one's number 6 out of those top 6, right. But he was no one's like number 1 or 2 either. And it's like, it just fell the right way that each team landed on a guy they were higher on than him, and he pushed out. And we're not mad about it.
Yeah. But either way, Sam Dickinson at 11, like I would like, as much as I had him going probably 5, 6, 7, it's still like somewhat like they would still kind of scare me. Like I think he's got a super high floor. There are definitely going to be question marks with the actual ceiling. A lot of those points that he put up this year, again, I am not going to try to shit on a guy who put up like 70 points as a defenseman. I'm not going to fucking do that. Like it's insane. The London Knights are fucking unbelievable. A lot of that stuff came on the power play. And I don't really see him as like a first power play guy. Maybe second. Either way, I think he's going to be a number 3 or number 4 defenseman for a long time in the NHL. You're probably realistically never going to complain that this guy's in your lineup, and he's a legit defender. So I like him a lot. So I love him at 11th overall. Do you think
that he made more money with London than he will on his ELC?
It's a good question. You have to ask the questions. I'm going to say yes. Another one of my favorite, and this he will make the list at the end of this. Some of my favorite picks: Igor Chernyshov at 33. I think he was. So there were probably 4 or 5 guys that, like, collectively, anyone that's been following the draft, especially, I mean, even just this one, shocked that Chernyshov was not taken in the first round. Again, like he's played some KHL games, but again, probably not going to be a center, I don't think, but he's played there before. But like the playmaking, the two-way game, the physicality, he is a legit top 6 upside guy that has insane skill. He's awesome. And like true power forward. I like him a ton, but go ahead.
Do you like him more or less than Artemonov? Because I know he's a guy, like originally when we did the Russia top 10 list, you put Artemonov 2 over Salayev and people were shitting their pants.
Yeah. I would put Artemonov and Chernyshov really, I think I probably would have on my own list put them either right next to each other or within 2 or 3.
Fair enough.
I think there's flashes of like higher upside with Chernyshov, but I think I probably believe in Artemonov's just like he played in the KHL on one of the best teams in the KHL and put up like 40 points, like 30 or 40 points. Like that is insane. It is like no one does that. Yeah. So I probably, but like when you look at the profile player,
that sounded weird, but basically what you're saying is when you're that young, you do not get that much runway on a good KHL team.
Right. I mean, you just don't play. And then, like, he's on the same team as Salayev, so there you go.
Right.
Maybe they're, like, and Flat first off. Shout out Flat first off. But, yeah, anyways, Chernyshov at 33. That's tremendous. Leo Sully Mullanius at 53. Love that pick. All-name team guy, obviously. The triple namers. Really interesting players. Or really interesting player for me. I see like a middle 6 guy, again, gives you a little bit of value at both ends of the ice. He flashes some high offensive upside too. Carson Wetch, similar. And actually Colton Roberts at 131. So I think again, they add value at pretty much everywhere in the lineup, but like the value in like Chernyshov at 33, Dickinson at 11, and Wallanius at 53. I like that a lot. So they obviously were going to be and you get Celebrini. Like, he fell to 1. He fell to first overall. I couldn't believe it. So they made my list.
Good. So are we doing just 5 or how many are in your list?
I have one more.
I'm getting nervous. The one that I thought you were for sure going to pick might not be picked.
I know who you're saying, I think, and they made my this close to being one.
Oh man.
Maybe we're thinking about different people. Last one of the true winner list, Calgary Flames.
Reasonable. I don't disagree with it, but you did not pick the one that I thought you were going to pick. That's on me.
So Zane Parekh, we've talked about him plenty. I mean, he shattered pretty much every OHL record in terms of offensive production. People I think are more concerned about the defense than they should be. I think he's going to be at least able to like make himself a useful defender that will have all of that offensive upside in the world. Any team that needs like a boost on their power play, especially, like, he is going to be your guy. But I think, again, like, he's strong. He's not like small. I think he's 6 foot, 6'1", solid skater, but the playmaking and just like the flashes of legit, just like ridiculous offense, and the skill is the way you can manipulate defense too. Like, doesn't matter. So transition offense, in zone, he is top notch. Again, yes, the defense is always going to be a concern, but I think that got like way overblown. Matt Bay-Gridden at 28 may have been a little bit of reach, but I love the player. I'm
reviewing all of their picks, and I'm like, holy shit, there's so many names on here that I know you liked that, like, this should have been the first team you mentioned.
Yeah, so here's the thing with the Calgary Flames. It wasn't even necessarily the guy, like, where they found value and, like, the upside in the guys that they found outside the first round is just crazy. But Matt Bay-Gridden, 28th, I think he either led USHL or he was top 5 in scoring in the USHL as a draft eligible. He was awesome. Andrew Basha, 41, one of my favorite players in this draft. Great name. Flashes of legit offense, so shifty, so good in transition. Was so fun to watch with Caden Lindstrom. I was kind of hoping after he didn't go in the first round that he might make it to Columbus and they would get to play together again. But it is what it is. But love that pick at 41. Battaglia at 62 is interesting. But I mean, Henry Muse at 74. So again, another guy that was projected to go super hot or super early in the first round. Didn't have the greatest year, but like was kind of pretty much just like solid all around for Ottawa and OHL this season. I knew he wasn't going to go first round. I thought he would probably go early second. The fact that he falls to 74 is crazy. Just a solid two-way right shot D, some offense in there. He's a solid defender. But the big one, Luke Misa at 150 is insane to me.
On the live stream, we were begging.
Yeah, I was really hoping to see him go to one of my teams. He did not. So I love that pick at 150. So the value you get with Luke Misa at 150, Henry Muse at 74, Andrew Bash at 41, and plus like the potential with Parekh. I mean, hard for me to leave them off the winners list. So that's that.
Great winners list. And I got to ask you, Z, because this feels right in your wheelhouse. Have you ever had the Arnold Palmer spiked?
Oh, yeah. That's a great golf drink. It is
My
dangerous.
brother is obsessed with them. He, like, his only request for his bachelor party was that I get, like, cases upon cases of that, and now I'm kind of into it. All right. So what's next then? Do we go all the way to the opposite side of the tracks and talk the worst ones, or do you want to talk the almost made it?
I was going to say, I think I should just go with the not enough to get into the winners, but very close.
Okay. Then leave with the one first thing I was going to say.
Carolina Hurricanes.
Not the one I thought you were going to say.
Interesting. All right. Carolina Hurricanes, as much as I do love their draft.
I get it.
I mean, they do the same shit every year. They trade back. They know the players that they like. And unlike a lot of other teams, instead of just fucking taking them, they just collect all these second, third, fourth, fifth round picks, and they use them on the players they've identified. They have I think there were probably 3 or 4 guys that I looked at before the draft started where I was like, that screams Carolina. That screams Carolina. And I think
Totally.
3 of them ended up going to fucking Carolina. First one, they trade out of the first round and still get Dominic Badinka, right shot D-man, super mobile. He's big. He's super, super raw. But there's a legit player in there. He's already played some SHL and looked really fucking good in the SHL, like legit playing 15, 16, 17 minutes. I think he had like a 4 or 5 game stint where he was on their first pair playing 22 minutes, like legit, both ends of the ice. He's flashed some legit upside offensively, especially in transition. So love that pick at 34. He was put in a lot of first rounds. I had him just outside my first round. And the one guy that I screamed, doesn't matter where Carolina's picking, this is going to be a Carolina fucking Hurricane. Nikita Artemonov at 50th overall is outrageous and the most Carolina pick of all time. It happens every goddamn year.
I think you had him 25.
Yeah, I put him 25 on my list. I mean, again, he has played top 6 minutes in the KHL, produced in the KHL on a team that went to the semifinals. And like flashes of like game breaking offense. So like I would say that it's not like all that likely that he's going to be a go-to guy in your first line, but like he is going to be like, he has that in him. And he did that a ton for Torpedo this year. So him at 50, again, the most Carolina Hurricane pick of all time. And like when they traded out of the first round, they're like, oh no. I was like, trust me, no, he's not going first round. He'll go to Carolina where the fuck they pick in the second round. And it happened.
You're right.
I thought it was going to be 34. The next guy I also had penciled going to fucking Carolina. Noel Franzen at 69. Phenomenal pick. Love Noel Franzen.
Nice.
Defense is going to be, yeah, there you go. Someone had to do it. Defense is going to be a work in progress with him.
You talked about the thermostat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
That is the correct answer to thermostat setting. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Kevin Malone.
Yes. Noel Franzen, though, 6'1", left shot D-man, insane transition offense. The D is good in transition. In zone, going to be a long road before he gets there. Definitely more interested in the offensive side of things. But, like, again, just like Badinka, the transition game is solid. And, like, some of the goals that he scored this year, the J20, it was a joke. Like, he did, like, there was one that was just in overtime, of course. I believe he actually scored the game-tying goal with, like, 10 seconds left in the same game. Like, first minute of overtime, strips someone in his own end, skates behind his own net, goes 200 foot, spinorama, goes shelf. And like, he just, every time he touches the puck, I love how much he wants to make a legit offensive play. And like, whether it's points or just doing something with it, he's a playmaker. He's very fun to watch. So I love that pick at 69. Alexander Sryatsky, 124. Another guy that was projected probably. He
had to have been all name. Like how? How could he not be?
It was towards the bottom of the list. So I just didn't get there. Oscar Vuillet, another one of my Swedes, undersized right wing. He is unbelievable. Ripped apart the J20 as a draft eligible and the year before as a draft -1. He even made it in some SHL games this year. He is undersized, yes, but he is absolutely unafraid to get involved in the shit. Net front, loves starting shit. Legit goal scorer, power play weapon, but also produces a 5v5. Useful defensively as well. Love him at 133. Justin Poirier, they got one of the best goal scorers in the draft at 156th overall. Ripped apart the QMJHL, I believe, broke a bunch of records there, was almost a goal per game. Timur Cole, another Russian who probably should have gone about 50 picks before 160. He ends up at 168. Same thing with Show Crit at 184. Same thing with Avramov 188. And same thing with fucking Krutov at 220. It is unbelievable every goddamn year. I probably should have put them in the winner list, but they didn't get like a guy that you're super well. So the thing is, when you look at all the guys that they have someone that you project to be like likely either top 4 like game breaker on defense or like a legit top 6 like likelihood.
Sure, but they literally got 3 guys outside of the first round that you had as first round picks. That's pretty good value.
One.
Well, you had Artemonov and Franzen, didn't you?
Franzen
I
was
thought
my
Franzen
ultimate.
was like right on the fringe at first.
I think I had him. No, Fry was my first round. Him, Salim Melanius, Badinka, like back to back to back, like in my, if I was going to do like a top 50.
Okay.
Somewhere in the late 40s, probably.
Fair enough. Okay, well, there's Carolina, which, yeah, that great draft, as always, by them. They're going to be taking over the Capitol soon. All right, next one.
This is a team I love, the Swings, New York Islanders. Cole Eisman at 20th. I was close to putting them in the winner category, but I think the teams that either had the same number of picks as them or lower or fewer, I mean, were like all game breakers. But anyways, Cole Eisman at 20. I love at that point, it's a no-brainer. Best goal scorer in the draft, best shot in the draft, shattered every record at the program. 20th overall, absolutely. Like unfathomable 12 months ago. The Jesse Pulkkinen at 54, I love that bet. A lot of people were trying to like figure out like, can I really put an overager in my first round? This is a 6'6" super mobile defenseman. He is mean, but he has like legit offensive upside, like crazy flashes of skill. Very fun at the blue line to just see a man that big, like that mobile and fleet of foot, and just like his ability to get around guys. So like he's got some power play upside. So I love that at 54. Camille Bednarik, I love the gamble at 61. Love that pick.
I love talking about him. He looks like he is going to murder anyone that crosses his path. And I love that.
Yep. And again, just another guy that like every once in a while flashes some legit upside, but like can kind of just give you whatever you need when he jumps over the board. So love that.
Where's he playing?
You play the program. He's going. Oh God, where is he going?
Sorry.
BU, I believe.
Of course he
is. Yeah. So I mean, those three, where they got them,
dude,
big
is there a chance that he centers Yzerman? Or is that too tall of an order?
Chance. Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Makes up for his defense, that's for sure. So, you know, the Gamzin, the Gidlof, and I really like the Xavier Villieu. I don't know how to say it. I like the players, where they got them, felt right. So I didn't put them necessarily in the winner category. I was close, but I put them just outside. And I got to speed this up a little bit, probably. Utah, next up.
Okay.
I was conflicted because I love Iginla. 6th overall is probably fine. I mean, what he did in the WHL this year was just a joke. I would imagine he doesn't do much of the same. Next year, Cole Beaudoin at 24, I feel like it was about right. It's still like a little high for me. I had him pegged for the Boston Bruins before he went literally one pick before, like the most Bruin of all time. Just like straightforward game. Yeah, he'll be an NHL guy, but does flash some legit offense. Skahan at 65 is interesting. He's a fucking massive defenseman that he projects to play games. Weiston at 96, I love. Another guy that was projected to go first round 12 months ago. Year didn't go his way, got hurt at one point, but legit, he was playing in the Finnish Liga all year long. B. Bear at 98, really like that pick. And then Lafton, great name, Ludwig Lafton at 190.
No, better all name team pick, the one before that. Wojtek Roddick. Oh my God, I did not know this human existed, and I love the name.
Yeah. But I mean, they went out and got their guys that have the ridiculous size, and guys like Skahan and Thomas Lavoie, very similar physical presence. And then let me make sure I didn't miss one. Oh, same thing with Gabe Smith. So, yeah, I like the players. I love Iginla, obviously. They picked a couple of guys that should be projected to play regular NHL games. So, not enough to get in the winner category, but still like some of those players.
Okay. I'm getting nervous now. You still haven't said the team that I thought you were going to go with. So
I have 3 left.
I'm way off then.
Okay. Wait, where did my list go? Oh my god. Okay. St. Louis is next on my list here.
Okay.
Jiricek at 16. Bit of a gamble with the injury, but at the same time, you look at the offensive upside, the two-way ability, and like I think he at one point before the injury was viewed as a guy that was further in his development than his brother was at the same age. We've seen him play at a very high level before that injury, so it's all going to be how he bounces back. Colin Ralph at 48, love it. Minnesota boy.
Well, I love how they label Shattuck St. Mary's though as Minnesota high school because that's just not accurate.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It'll work. But Colin Ralph, I love that player, man. Like he's so fun to watch. Just a big, super mobile, solid defender. And he does have that legit offense in there going to St. Cloud next year. That's gonna be exciting. Lucas Fish at 56, I thought was interesting. I think he has a chance to be like a bottom roll there. And Andre Koch was really interesting to me. He's flashed some legit ability too. So I like that. Gamble at 81. Adam Jecko at 95. He was great in the WHL for a while this year. They have a Do You Know Who My Dad Is member, William McIsaac, 145. Big fan, obviously. And the Mercic pick is probably the one that they may have got the most value in there. Yeah. One of the best shots in the draft, super, super high in skating. I think he might rip apart CHL next year. So I put them, I was close to the winner list, but just missed.
Sure. Fair.
Seattle Kraken, next up.
All right, he did it. He picked him.
I mean, Berkeley Catton.
Oh. Getyourwagon.com, folks. Promo code SP10.
Phenomenal player.
I knew just because of Catton there'd be interest, but I also thought like throughout the draft, even on day 2, like you kept on making comments about Seattle. And I know like second pick, Julius Miettinen, but beyond that, maybe you can go further. But Berkeley Catton, number 3 on your big board. Why?
Yeah. I mean, what he's done in the WHL since he stepped in, the two-way ability, the absolutely insane like ability to pop offensively. Again, I think he scored 5 short-handed goals this year as well. You got a goal scorer, the playmaking, his play along the wall, like he just gives you literally everything, and he does it at a high level. So I love Berkeley Catton. I think he's going to have a very, very successful NHL career. He never moved from 3rd overall on my board. And they get him at 8. Julius Miettinen is going to be a very, very interesting one. He can drive you nuts at times. Other times, he's going to win you the game. What he did in the WHL this year, they get him at 40. I felt like that for some. It depends who you ask, dude. Like some people, like, yeah, that's exactly where he should have gone. Then there's other people like, no, I had him first round. The size, the skill, the shot, and then like my buddies and smart scout were like, I no higher than 80. I was like, well, that seems aggressive, but all right. But like. The rest of the guys have some super high floors. Like I think there's a chance that almost all of these guys probably end up turning into full-time NHL players. Fibiger at 202, mind-boggling. Like probably a top 100 guy for sure.
Well, you talked a lot about Ollie Josephson too. Like, is 105 for him a surprise?
No, probably about
right.
But like. Maybe not like eye-popping offense, but just like super hard-working, nonstop motor. I like that pick a lot. Same thing with Clark Caswell. Like that pick too. So like nice. Every pick I liked. So I was close to putting it on the winners list. Probably should have if I could have done it again. Probably would have put them there, but whatever.
But see, I really thought they were going to be in your winners list. Damn it.
Yeah. And then Nashville was the last one. I could have taken I could have put them anywhere that like on any given day, I could put them anywhere like winner, loser, almost winner, almost loser.
They took a gopher.
They did. Yegor Sharon at 22. I think there was a lot of talk that he was going to go first round. Again, somehow this kid is legitimately everywhere on the ice. Like he is nonstop. He flashed some ridiculous skill in the playoffs this year, the NHL. Again, it's the NHL, so you always have to take down the great assault. But has a really solid two-way game and flashes of legit offense. How much of it's going to be projectable, we don't know. But Teddy Stiga at 55, one of my favorite picks. Love him. Miguel Marquez, depends who you ask. Some people would have put him mid first. Other people would have put him probably, I guess, right where they took him. But he flashed some legit offense playing with Lethbridge, another shit team in the WHL. Very fun player, great name. And then one of my Swedes, Victor Noringer, he's fucking huge and flashes some crazy offense. They take him at 127, and I like the Eric Paulson pick at 213. So not enough. And like the Shurin pick is going to be a big gamble on that skill, translating the NHL. Feels like very much a Nashville pick too. Like, so wasn't super surprised that they were the team that ended up taking him in the first round, but for me, probably would have been more like a second. But I get why people like it.
There we go. There's the almost.
All right.
So then do we go with the bad or do we go with the almost bad?
Let's go back. So they have 3 almost bad.
Okay. Let's go bad. Who do we got?
I felt guilty putting them here because individually I like pretty much all the players they took, but the Philadelphia
Just where
Flyers,
they took them. Yeah.
It was going to be hard to recover passing Z Buium to go one pick back and take Jetlachenko.
Rid of his agent.
Oh my God, I can't. Like, that's why I almost said, fuck it, let's put him in the winners. Yeah.
Cowards.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be a really solid NHL player, right in the middle 6. He's got some legit scoring upside, but just a tenacious, hard-working guy. I think he can play center at his size still. I think he's probably gonna be like right at middle 6. He's gonna give you secondary offense, plays both ends of the ice. I like the player a lot, not at 13. I think I put him like 20, so I guess it's not
right. And
crazy.
That became one of my favorite names quickly. So the fact that he went to Philly, that's a bummer.
Yep. And then the second round, again, like too early for my liking, but I love Jack Berglund, Swedish. They took him at 51st. I probably would have felt more comfortable somewhere in the 3rd round. But he is a huge two-way center. Does flash some legit offense. He played a couple SHL games this year. Very projectable, so I think he'll play games and probably be in the middle to a bottom 6 role. I do love the Heike Ruohonen pick at 107. Just a solid two-way power forward. When he chooses to, he flashes some legit offense. He's got the skill, but plays a very projectable game. It's the right size, like the skating ability. So I like that pick at 107 a lot. I think on our list at Smart Scat, we had him like right around 90 something. So I really like that pick.
You don't like the Ilya Pautov pick.
What's that?
Ilya Pautov, he's a guy that you had in your like top 10 Russian players, and to get him at 173.
Yep. Again, projectable game. Might not like flash a ton of offense, but pretty reliable player. I like the swing on the upside though with Spencer Gill as well. Big
relation?
No.
Disappointing.
That would have been funny though. But I think that's a big swing on upside there. Like, creates good offense. The skating's got to take several strides forward to make it to the NHL and be an impact player. But like, you like the upside there with the how skilled he is, offense creation, and just like at his size. So they made the loser list. It's going to always be hard to recover, like just passing on Z Buium to move one pick back and then take Jetlachenko. Poor Jetlachenko also is now just going to be scrutinized forever unfairly. Like, he didn't do this. Like, he's a solid player. He's going to be a good player. Like, I think, like, because this is exactly what I said too. He's a guy that, like, wherever he's going to go, he's going to be a fan favorite. It's like, never mind. This is the one situation where they might just like fucking, and of course it's Philadelphia. Like, so it's going to be like, they're driving forever. So
it's the tweet. It's Jetlachenko, Charlie Stramel, handshake emoji.
Yeah. Next up, Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, they didn't pick till 118. You're always going to end up in the lose list at that point. Realistically, they took 2 kids that I really like. Jonas Saarelainen, Finnish kid, very crafty offensive player, absolute sniper. He's legit, like him a lot. Noah Steen's an overager at 199. I thought he should have got drafted last year. Played in the Allsvenskan this year. Played a lot on the same line with Bronseg Nygård has for a couple of years. He's also a Norwegian, so there you go. Let me see. I don't know how the fuck
Didn't pick till the 4th. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, not much more to say, to be honest with you. I mean,
Hagen Burrows, baby.
overager, Madigan, the goalie, has been one of the better goalies in the CHL for a while. They took him at 206, so I don't know. They should get a couple.
Taking an overager goalie almost like the opposite of taking an overager at other positions? Like that's almost better.
So actually, in that case, we should just go to another team I had in the loser list, Colorado Avalanche.
Sure.
Their first pick in the second round. Where'd it go? There it is. Ilya Nabokov, 38th overall. It's a big swing, but he's probably...
Where should he have gone?
Third round, maybe. But, like, I think in terms of, like, overagers, like, this is what I was going to talk about. Like, goaltending feels like the right position where it's like, yeah, maybe it's better to take the overager goalies because it does take them forever to get drafted anyways. But I'm assuming they took him like thinking that's going to be their guy for the future. Like he's legit. I like him a lot. But other than that, again, like Zellers at 76 felt like a reach. Fisher at 121 felt like a reach. Pittner at 185 was interesting. Christian Humphreys at 215 is interesting. But I mean, I just think with some of the guys that somehow fell, they passed up a ton of value. So I didn't really love their draft. Realistically, the one that I probably would like the most is Pittner. Torrey Pittner at 185. Like super smart. Just like one of the smartest players probably in the draft. Again, he's going to be able to affect like a game anywhere in the lineup. Like him a lot. So the fact they got him at 185 was the one I was like, that's a really solid pick.
I mean, Zellers did play for Shattuck High School, so
You're right, they win. Actually, let me move it.
that's what I thought. All right. Any other losers?
Toronto Maple Leafs made the loser list. So there you go. Let's make it about Toronto.
About the Maple Leafs.
The only pick that I was like, yep, that's nice, is Ben Danford at 31st overall. Right shot defenseman. Super versatile defender. Like the exact right shot defenseman that they probably should have been targeting before. They traded back and decided not to take Stian Solberg, who like the fan base wanted. Everyone thought was going to be the guy that was going to go for them. They decided to not do that. Other than that, I didn't like any of the picks. I didn't love anything. Like I have nothing really to say about literally any of the other guys. Like,
were there any in particular that you like, not the player, but where you were like, why the hell did you take this player here?
Yeah, like Miroslav Holinka at 151. Like he just has really nice hands. But like when you watch him play, it's like, yeah, he's probably gonna be like really solid, like either playing junior or just he's gonna go play in Europe. Like
sure,
he's gonna make it work there. It's just like the NHL. Now that I said it though, with my track record, he's gonna be the best player in the league. But yeah, I like the Danford pick. And other than that, nothing. Like they added Snot at the end of with the last goal picks. Like that's what they did. Washington, I thought they reached pretty much almost every pick.
I figured this one was coming.
Yeah.
Again, but it is kind of the same deal that you talked about earlier, right? Like you like a lot of the players, just not where they were taken.
Mm-hmm. The one that I really liked though was Leon Mugli at 52.
Okay. Already
played pro hockey, super projectable game, two-way defenseman, like solid defender, and he flashes some legit offensive upside. So I like that pick. Other than that, they literally like. I mean, I could have put them in the winner category just for taking Miroslav Shatan Jr. at 212.
Yeah,
that's fun. But other than that, they reached a ton. But yeah, and I mean they get Cole Hudson at 43. It's fine.
Too early. But should like, how big should the fruit basket be that Tarek Parashak sends over to Riley Heidt?
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth because like that's the big thing that everyone says, but like he doesn't get enough credit then for going from like Canadian prep hockey or like literal high school hockey to ripping apart the WHL.
I mean, isn't that what you're hoping that your boy's going to do for Boston?
Yeah, he's going to fucking BC. We'll find out. I'm hoping. They're also very different players. But yeah, I don't know. But I like the Moogly pick a lot. And that pretty much does it for the losers. The three that I have that I don't like, but not enough to put in the loser category. Number one, Ottawa Senators. They've got a type, that's for sure.
Yakimchuk
at 7. Again, like you can absolutely understand why NHL teams love everything about Yakimchuk, the size, the fact that he's a right shot, the offensive ability that he showed. The WHL, I mean, he scored fucking 30 goals this year as a defenseman. And he is super physical, super mean. Big time questions about the hockey sense. Big time questions about just like the overall like breaking out of his own zone, decision making. That's gonna be probably a bit of a project. But like when you move as well as he does at his size, and he flashes that offense, like you understand why teams like that a lot.
Hang on, the highlight of the draft for me with that one. They throw up the graphic for defensemen that have put up 30 goals in their draft year. And they're like, this just does not come around. You understand why what made the jump here. And then they like lightly say under their breath, like, oh yeah, and a guy that's still on the board, Zane Parekh, also did that.
Yeah.
Good.
One of the most, again, totally understand why NHL teams would love this kid. 39th overall. Is wild. Gabriel Eliasson, 6'7", left shot D-man. I think he does at least like break the puck out well enough, and he can like, I mean, he can play. But you took the meanest player in the draft. Like every single time he steps on the ice, his number one goal is to absolutely crush somebody. Again, I probably would have been more comfortable like 3rd, 4th round. They decided on 39th overall. Again, they clearly have a type. But I mean, hey, he's a kid that plays for Team Sweden in every international tournament at the junior level. He's always there. He plays on their bottom pair. He kills penalties. Super fucking physical. Super mean. But 39th overall is wild. But I absolutely love the Blake Montgomery pick. That's a fantastic, super high upside winger. Yes, I do. Next question. And I like the swing with Lucas Elenas. I think that's another guy that could potentially have a nice little breakout year next year. So I like the value that they get, especially with the Montgomery. I get the Yakimchuk pick higher than I would have put him there. So like a bunch of other guys that like, sure, but maybe not where you took him, other than Blake Montgomery.
We got to talk about the two that you didn't mention, though. Javon Moore, going to be a Gopher. Say something nice.
Oh, God. Similar to Montgomery profile, big swing on the like playmaking wing with legit upside, so I like that pick as well. Sorry. Meant to include him in that.
And how did their 5th round pick, Eric Wallenius, not get discussed ever, with it being not Saulene Wallenius, but also Eric with 2 E's, Eerik?
Yeah, Eric.
Eric Wallenius, no Saulene. Hold the Saulene.
Yeah, hold a little less. Yeah. Next up, Edmonton. Really like Sam O'Reilly, 31. You could look at it either like just right. I think I put him 32. So there you go. Love the player though, and he was awesome for London. I think he just like finally decided that even though he wasn't necessarily utilized as like a go-to guy for like offense, he kind of just like broke out the end of the year, had a really strong playoff for them. Again, he's going to just impact your lineup wherever you put him. So I like him a lot. Other than that, there's just a lot of hope there, but like, and again, a bunch of solid players like Albin Sundin. I like him a lot. 183, probably about where he should have gone. So, like, I didn't really have anything bad to say about their draft. It's just like where they were picking, they kind of just made fine picks, but nothing that's really like headline grabbing.
They took son of Bradbury and Bowerberry in the 7th round.
True.
He's not even good enough to play for his dad, though. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you do with that?
And then just because we are already at fucking 134, Detroit Red Wings made mine close to losing. Again, they got my favorite player of the draft, so automatically that's great. Bronzek Nygaard, but pretty much they follow it up with some like big swings, but we'll see type picks like Max Plant. That's a swing at 47.
Minnesota. Yeah, that was really
Yep. Just a swing at 47. Same thing with Andre Becker, 80. Whipple at 144. 144, I like a lot. And other than that, I mean, like Charlie Forsland is another sweet, interesting swing. So,
Z, I guess it's going to be a yes or no. Do you believe in the Iser plan?
no, I've said this before. I think for 2 years.
Bad. It's so bad.
I don't know if they're up there.
They're not going to make the playoffs this year. There's no way.
No. Nope, they're not. So, but yeah, that does it for the lists.
They have 2 of the best goalie prospects, and they have 4 NHL goalies right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit.
All right. I'm just gonna rifle through some of my favorite picks. Andrew Basha, Calgary, 41st. Henry Muse to Calgary at 74th. Luke Misa to Calgary at 150. Artemonov at 50 for Carolina. Noel Franzen, 69 to Carolina. Oscar Roulette, 133 to Carolina. Simon Zether, 129, one of my boys. 129 to Florida. Teddy Stiga, 55th overall to Nashville. Now to be your boy, Max Swanson, 207 to Pittsburgh. And Igor Chernyshov at 33 to the San Jose Sharks.
Maybe you just want to avoid bias, but how does Aaron Kiviharu in the 4th round not come up?
Well, I said I wasn't talking about Minnesota yet.
But you said your favorite picks of the draft.
Yes. Okay. Muse, and also make
wild pick. Every single wild pick is your favorite?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Move on.
That does that.
Sick.
I mean, at this point, we're already at 140, and we don't really have time to do the wild deep dive.
Anyone that wants to know about the Wild, go listen to Fellowship of the Rink, episode 20, featuring Spoked Z, giving the whole Minnesota Wild draft rundown.
I thought about it after. I was like, wait, we already did that, and this is going to take me way longer than I wanted to. I started thinking that probably like 10 minutes into this thing. I was like, uh-oh. Fuck. That's going to be a 3-hour if we actually want to do the whole thing. Should have just talked about Ryan Suter the whole fucking time.
Honestly, that would have been really fun, but I would have gotten bored at like an hour 45.
I had 15 minutes. How long are we? My favorite memory of Dallas star Ryan Suter.
Everyone that wants to hear Z's thoughts on the Minnesota Wild's draft, I just dropped the link into the comments. Go listen.
Here, you know what I will do? The one that I'm going to be... I always pick one every year of the draft class that I'm going to like pay particular attention to, because basically it's like totally understand taking the player with that profile. Didn't have a good year at all. It was Sebastian Suwinny.
Okay.
Super, super mobile, right shot D-man. Played a ton of pro hockey this year. Probably shouldn't have played pro hockey. Probably should have been playing in the U20s in Finland. There's no question about the just like raw athletic tools. The big thing that always comes up with him whenever you talk to anyone that's just tracked like these like players out of Finland for the last couple of years. It's just like the decision making and the overall awareness, which is very interesting for a Judd bracket draft. Like historically, he really goes out of his way to target like super high hockey IQ type guys. So Sweeney's gonna be one that I'll be watching in particular this year, just given the profile player, the fact that he's a right shot defenseman in this fucking prospect pool that is just like there's like 4. I absolutely do not agree that Lethal Migraine, this might be the single worst draft in Wild history. A bunch of guys who aren't very good and Bouillon who doesn't particularly fill a need. That's just that doesn't feel like a genuine or you like being mad. I don't know. That's fine.
Likes being mad.
Oh, he also just said I went down the YouTube rabbit hole and Kivi Haryu is very unimpressive. There you go. You've seen all you needed to see.
That's how you scout, right? You just look at YouTube.
Yeah, obviously. Well, kinda. I have to. I'm not in Finland.
An important one here from Tom Alaya, which I have already been very outspoken about. If Dean gets a job in Columbus, Uncle Freddie, which it's actually son Freddie Evison, will give us another spot for height. Hire Dean. I support it. I also think Dean coaching Columbus would be very enjoyable.
Hell yeah. It's nice. I like it. Big fan.
Who will his assistant coach be that he physically assaults when they win?
Darby. Let's get Darby back to just get the gang back together.
Darby already found a job, man.
Fuck, you're right. I forgot about that. Damn it. Congrats to Darby. Absolute beauty of a human. Fantastic.
Congrats to his son playing for the Gophers this year. And I know he follows all of our accounts. I don't know if he listens to the show or not, but Beckett, Hendrickson, going to be a Gopher, then a Bruin.
I made it. I was able to go to one day of Bruins dev camp the last day because we weren't working on the 4th.
Yeah.
He was nasty. Beckett. Some of the fucking plays he was making and the small-sided games. My God. It was very enjoyable for me to watch. So I think he's going to do very well in Minnesota.
Lethal, I'm with you on this one. Make Rick Nash the assistant coach. He's thick. He can take a hit from Dean.
Fair enough.
Support it.
There's no fucking way that the guys that are like, they get hired as like player development guys, they're like, this is the best. I'm not fucking coach. Fuck off. Like, how am I going to get fired? I can't. Like, unless you're just like boosting the kids up. Like, that's the only way you can fuck that up.
Well, in Canada,
there's like being an asshole. Like, the player dev guys are everyone that I've ever listened to, like ex-NHL guys that like the first role they get is like player development. They're like, it's the fucking best. This is the best job in the fucking world.
Oh, it's great too, because Joe Smith's like, oh yeah, I can tell like the Wild that we're just like down the road, like recording the episode. If like we can get an interview set up, I'm like, I don't think they're gonna let 17 and 18-year-olds come down to a brewery, but I'll do it. Right. I'll do it.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah. Oh, I don't care.
I'm in.
Count me in. Hire me.
Right away, he's like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else we want to touch on? One of my first projects that I've been working on, by the way, is like I just started it too. Is I'm about to watch an insane amount of Sebastian Suwinny shifts. Nice. I've already logged about 450 minutes of ice time. I'm like, I put the blue light glasses on.